Allah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Okay, I hope everyone joining today is doing well. So we have quite a tight agenda today. We have the international webinar with the title of Unlocking the Power of Waqf, Hibah, and Wasiyah today, ensuring the financial legacy and wealth planning security for future life. We have several agenda like waiting for from Madam Ani to delivering her welcoming speech, and then continue to Bapak Trijoko Santoso as a keynote speech for today. And we have Dr. Sadali Rasban as speaker, and also Ibu Tesi Setiabudi as speaker today. So in today's agenda, we see that the idea of wakaf, hibah, and wasiyah play crucial role in Islamic financial planning, offering Muslim comprehensive tools for wealth distribution, charitability giving. While we see that in Singapore, wakaf, hibah, and wasiyah face specific challenges to the country's unique legal and regulatory framework. Financial planning is particularly important for the elderly as it ensures that they can maintain their financial independence and meet their needs in retirement. Our goal for today's event is to enhance participant understanding of the importance of integrating wakaf, hibah, and wasiyah into financial planning. While also addressing the unique challenges this concept face in different legal environments, such as in Singapore. Additionally, the webinar aims to provide practical insight into strategic financial planning for elderly, empowering participants to make informed decisions that ensure financial security, legacy, uh, preservation. All right, before any further ado, let's continue to heard the welcoming speech from Professor Dr. Murniati Mukhlisin, MACC CFP, IFPA, EPPQFP. The time is yours, Madam.
Thank you, Ratna. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First of all, I would like to. Sorry, I think I have problems, little bit problem. Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon. Can you hear me, Ratna?
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, today we have our webinar, Unlocking the Power of Waqf, Hibah, and Wasiyah, ensuring financial legacy and wealth planning security for future life. And we have Bapak Trijoko Santoso, CFP. He is actually our guru, Masya Allah, founder of FSB Indonesia, and also the advisor of Islamic Financial Planners Association. So thank you, Pak Trijoko, for having us. And we have also other guru, Masya Allah, far away from Singapore, Dr. Sadali Rasban. He is a principal consultant, HTHT Advisory Services Private Limited. Singapore is expert in Islamic law of estate planning. And we also have our guru, beautiful guru from Bali, Ibu Tesi Setiabudi, CFP, CSFT, is also helping us in Islamic Financial Planners Association. And of course, our moderator, Ratna Kamalasari. And Alhamdulillah, we are very happy to have everyone here, and I can have some other participants who perhaps you can call your friends and your colleagues to join us. We're going to have another 1 hour to go. And of course, we don't have some liberty to actually get to know because it is online. One day we would like to have offline session, perhaps in Jakarta. So I think we can't wait for this session to meet every one of you. So, but thanks to digitalization, because Bapak Sadali Rasban, Dr. Sadali Rasban is still in Singapore while we are talking, everyone around here, and also we have we also have Ibu Teshi. Ibu Teshi is still in Bali, I guess. He's yeah, she just moved her house. I hope everything settling in. So we have also Mr. Isyaku Barau. So we have some other friends from other countries who will join us, and we hope to have more coming in. Mr. Abu Bakar Aminu Ahmad, Dr. Abdullah. We have Dr. Abdullah as well, and there are more coming in, inshallah. And I can say that this is actually a very vital topic. I just come back from USA and Canada for 17 days. During my journey, I've been giving around 12 sessions in various states and countries. And the most vital and the most lucrative topic I can say is actually today's topic on how we talk about wills and trust under the American and Canadian law, and how the Islamic law suits to this American law and Canadian law. And with the experience of Bapak Tri Joko and Dr. Sadali Rasban, I see we can have actually more discussion on this topic. I think that's all from myself. Again, thank you. And also Ustazah Rida Rosida, who has been helping behind the screen with our interns, Pahrul and Dimas, and the rest of the team of IFPA. Thank you again. Wallahu a'lam bishawab. Enjoy the discussion. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, madam, for joining us and having your welcoming speech. So let's continue to the second agenda where we have the keynote speaker. Before the keynote speaker, we would like to have Bapak Trijoko Santoso, CFP. He has 38 years of experience in multi-industry environments, learning and adapting to operational and cultural differences in the company. She has longest tenure, has been in the life insurance industry, and he has adequate experience in operating and developing the business of a life insurance company, both in conventional and takaful, and governed with Otoritas Jasa Keuangan regulations. Currently he led a family-owned company in the field of training and certification for financial planning practitioners. Since he has the long experience as a chairman of FPSB, as a commissioner dependent for Takaful Keluarga, and etc., he receiving his bachelor degree from University of Indonesia, continuing to the graduate College of Insurance in Singapore, and the last one, he is master degree from Universitas Kristen Kedua Wacana. Without any further ado, Bapak Trijoko Santoso, hopefully you may to deliver your speech. Yeah, we're still waiting. I think he has technical issue with the Zoom.
Is Pak Joko here already?
He already joining the Zoom and then going out. Yeah, left.
Oh, okay. Uh, okay, we can just wait for 1 or 2 minutes. And while waiting, I think I would like to just continue a little bit on my welcoming speech. And I would like to invite all of you who are perhaps newcomers to our session. We will have monthly discussions. Hopefully, will be one of them essentially offline, but mostly online. to actually give opportunity for our friends from outside the countries to join, and you're welcome to be a member of Islamic Financial Association, Islamic Financial Planners Association. You can contact the administrator, the admin, our admin, and our admin can actually post some notification in the chat box. So whoever is interested to join, but of course you need to actually have some little bit qualification on Islamic financial planning. Pak Joko is here already. Otherwise, we can have him whenever he's coming in. I will contact him directly. We can actually continue to our first speaker. Once he's joining, we will give like time for him to speak.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, since we still waiting for Bapak Tri Joko Santoso, we will continue directly to the main agenda for today. We have two amazing speakers for today. The first one is Dr. Sadali bin Rasban, and the second one is Ibu Stesi Setiabudi. So Dr. Sadali Rasban is now in Singapore. He received his doctorate of philosophy, 2 masters in conventional and Islamic finance, and 6 diplomas and professional financial qualification from several renowned university and institutions here and overseas. He has written books on Islamic estate matters and directly influenced Muslim Religious Council of Singapore to accept conventional insurance, nomination, and joint tenancy as a law Sharia. He has over 30 years of experience, including consulting in Islamic estate planning, writing Islamic wills and hibah or gift deeds, assisting in Muslim probate matters, consulting to lawyers and financial professional and Islamic estate members, and also conducting talks and training. He continuously researching estate matter. Okay, today we have very amazing speakers. Dr. Sadali Rasban, the time is yours. Okay, we can see your screen, Doctor. Um, I apologize. We couldn't hear your voice. I'm sorry.
Dr. Sadali, we can't hear your voice. Perhaps you can.
Okay, we will wait for the technical issue from Dr. Sadali.
Dr. Sadali, you can leave first and then you get in again. Will it help? Is it your first time experiencing this? I think normally it was okay, right, when you join us? But this time I can't hear your voice at all. Farol, perhaps you can while waiting, I would like to ask our friends from Abuja, um, what about the financial planning profession in your country? Is it popular enough? Perhaps Brother Ishaku Abarau? You are
Pardon,
muted.
Professor, what did you say, Professor? Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Yeah, we'd like to know your the financial planning profession in Nigeria. Is it popular among the society?
What is it popular among the society? Prof?
Financial planning association. Sorry, financial planning profession.
Okay, financial planning profession is it's not popular, but alhamdulillah, there are some people who are trying their best, especially on Islamic matters, like the Popular Association, Nigeria Association of Zakat and Waqf institution at one. Even this particular program, we do learn about the program from them. So we are trying to key into. It's not that very popular, and with their help, I think it's going to be very popular soon.
Okay, thank you, brother. Ratna, perhaps we can go to Butesi first.
Butesi, all right. Okay, since
Hi.
hi, Ibu Tesi, how are you?
Okay. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Since you've been in Bali, I think
Oh,
you
yes. We should conduct a program in Bali.
yeah, inshallah.
Yes.
Okay, I would like to introduce you first before you entering the amazing material today. So she has more than 30 years of experience as a soft skills program facilitator. She is very passionate about facilitating retirement or voluntary resignation preparation programs in a practical, unique, easy to implement approach and have a real impact on thousands of program participants. Until now, we heard that you already have 20,000 people from various levels in various company and organization in Asia as you have been conducting the training. She also has the experience from almost all around the world and a lot of big company both in Indonesia and internationally. So without any further ado, Ibu Tesi, you ready for your delivering your materi? The time is yours.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Retna, for the introduction. Thank you, Madam Ani, for allowing me to share about how important financial planning for the elderly. So this is a question that I'm going to ask you again 30 minutes from now after we discuss whether or not it is important, right? So I guess it's good that I go first. I was just thinking, I guess before we talk about Hibah and Waqf, which is distribution of wealth, we have to have wealth on the first place, correct or not? So I guess it's good that I go first. All right. Well, let's look at 4 factors that influence elderly. What are they? First of all, 6 out of the 10 retirees cannot support themselves. This is facts. I mean, this is what I see among clients, among friends, among families who have retired. And I have discovered that 6 out of 10 retirees cannot support themselves. So how do they live? Number one, some of them really sell their assets, which is sad. I mean, their houses are sold one by one to support their living, or they become burden to their children or relative. This is a very sad fact throughout many countries. I mean, not only in Indonesia, I believe in some other country as well, like Malaysian, as well as Singapore. And second reason is that our funds, pension fund runs out less than 10 years. So let's say, okay, you have the pension fund, let's say $200,000, okay? And your living cost is about 4,000. So your 200K will last you about 50 months, which is like 4 years plus. So that means we cannot survive until the end of our life just by pension alone. You can't. That means that we have to have source of income that support us to live our years of being our senior or retirees. So the question is, what kind of source of income do we have in order to support our old age, you see? So let's look at the third facts of our life. The third one will be our life, our elderly. I call myself elderly since I'm 60 already. So we live longer nowadays. Why? Because the healthcare is getting better and we are more conscious about our healthy living. We do exercise, we do dieting, you know, then we live longer. Now, the problem goes, if we live longer, then how do we support ourselves? I mean, when I'm 70 years old or 80 years old, I don't think Madam Annie will invite me back, you know? Like,
I will.
oh, you will? Okay. So I've been thinking, I mean, even my clients, right? Now I'm facilitating those people 5 years before their retirement. But when I'm in my 70s or 80s, who is going to invite me? So that gives me a question. How am I going to support my life on that time if I go to my 80s, you know? So this is a very important question we must ask our life. I mean, if you keep praying about living longer, we should also think about our finances, you know? So the fourth facts about life now is that our children live a sandwich generation, you see. They do have children their own. And as we know, our living standard is getting more and more expensive. Now, if they start their career, even both of them working, it is tough, you know, to support their own children. And also if they need to support us as their parents. So, really, I mean, it's really tough for our children to have this sandwich generation, to support their children as well as to support us. So these four elements, four challenges that we all as elderly facing it brings us into a very serious question to how do we respond to these facts? How am I going to respond if we know all this? Well, I can think of three responses. Number one, we can be indifferent. I mean, que sera, sera, you know, whatever will be, will be. We just don't care, just live the kind of life that we don't think about. Our task is just so far away, we don't want to think about it. Or second response, we can be so scared that our fear will stop us from doing anything, because all we think about is those scary images, what am I gonna do with my old age? What about if my children abandon me? What if I am being thrown out to the elderly home? What if? It's all about being scared. And the third response, I hope you'll choose this one, is to be prepared. How do we prepare this fact of life that we are going to face one day? How do we prepare it? So those are the kind of question we should ask ourselves. How can we prepare our retirement so that we live the kind of life that we design, and as we grow older, we might be thinking of, hey, what if I can have a dream, my last chapter of our life become a dream life that we want to, Or maybe these are not the three responses that you have. Maybe, just maybe, you have these secret wishes. Maybe you wish, you will win a lottery. Maybe your child will marry a wealthy spouse, so will be taken care of. Or maybe we will inherit a lot of money, or from our distant relative, or maybe if we have a rich parents, those are wishes. Will our wish come true? I don't know. Are we waiting for all those wishes, or are we going to be prepared? So what are we going to do? That is the question I'm going to ask you again. How important financial planning for the elderly? Are we prepared? Are you prepared? Once you retire, what do you plan to do? Is your life will be supported by your passive income? Is your investment are good enough, or you're not prepared yet? If you're not prepared yet, then this is the time. It is a time now to be prepared. It is the time now to look at our finances. I think number one is that we have to take a look at all of our finances. Do we still have debts? How are we going to settle our debts? Do we invest wisely? We have to take a look at all of our finances. We have to take a look at our lifestyle. Is our lifestyle okay? Not okay? Healthy or not healthy? I'm so surprised. Many of my friends are CFP, certified financial planners. And yet, when we share about our assets, our finances, talking about our investment, many of them are not investing well. Many of them have a high lifestyle that really have little to save and invest. And that's the kind of things we need to really be ready to make some changes. I remember about 20 years ago, it was a turning point in our life when we become very prudent, when we become really be honest with ourselves, looking into all of our finances and to be looking at it and manage it, manage our expenses as well, manage our lifestyle, and to be able to learn what are the investment that we can go into. Of course, an investment that are safe as well as good in return. So if you think that our financial planning for the elderly is really important, then I have 3 tips, only 3, very simple. Okay. Number 1, you have to have a dream. This morning, as Madam said, I just moved house. So this morning I was having my morning coffee and in a very nice, cool place. I live in a suburb of Bali. So in a very ulu place, yeah. The Singaporean call it ulu. And with a gorgeous a view. And I thanks God to the place where I can look into it, and I said, oh yes, I have this on my mind many years ago. It was our dream house, and we are now living in it. And I said, it must start with dream. What is our dream as the last chapter of our life? What will be that life looks like, you know? What are we going to do about it? What the kind of life that we have? How do we support ourselves that we will not be burdened to others, but we can still live to be a blessing, you know? So I would say, have a dream about your retirees, you know? It must start with that dream, what the kind of life you would like to have. Okay, so that's the first tip. The second tips will be investing wisely. Gold is getting more and more expensive. It will always be, you know, a kind of choice. Women love to collect gold. Gold, okay, not rings or all those jewelry, okay, but gold bar. But my friend said, but that's if I invest on gold bar and I go to meet my friends, I can't wear it. I said, you shouldn't wear it, the gold bar, but we have to have some gold bar. So you need to invest wisely. Property, yeah. Gold, stock market is getting, some stocks are worth to look into, but you need to invest wisely. It's not how much you earn, but how much you invest. Many of my clients, many of my friends, they earn very high income, but they also spend a lot. So at the end of the month, they don't have a lot to invest. You need to invest minimum 10-20% of your income, if it's not more. Yeah. Of course, if you can live with 30-40% of your income, that's very wise. But now it's tough because of the increase of all goods are increasing. But then at least by minimum, you have to put aside 10-20% of your income. Okay, so please invest wisely, because the kind of life that you are going to live at the end of your life, your last chapter, it depends of your investment. Yeah, investing wisely. Okay, my last tips will be trusting God. Yes, you have to have a dream. Yes, you have to invest wisely. But last but not least, is the most important thing, I think, is to trust God. I mean, God has already brought you to this point of life. Of course, the same God will carry you through until the end. Friends, when we were born, we can't choose where we live. We can't choose our parents. We can't choose the skin, the color of our skin. We can't. But how we live our life, how we end our life, our retirees, what it looks like, what our life at the end of our life, what it will be, it's up to us. We can decide that. We can choose that, but it must start from today. Today, what do you plan to do? Today, what do you have to settle? Today, what do you have to organize? What do you have to change? Your lifestyle, your investment, your finances, your mindset. So many people so afraid what other people think of them. So they spend the money that they don't have to buy the things they don't need, just to impress people they don't care about. So, friends, if you do want to have the kind of life, the last chapter of your life that you enjoy, the kind of life you can design, you must choose the kind of action that will bring you to that point. All right. So if you have any question, please comment, question, please do.
Right. Thank you so much, Ibu Tesis Budi. You've been delivering very such a fruitful idea about the uh, importance of the retirement planning, and we see that how the pension, a lot of facts that we see there are sandwich generation that we actually live longer. We also have a pension fund, according to your experience as a consultant, see that less out will running out less than 10 years.
Yes.
While we see that we live longer, actually we have to prepare more
Yes.
for that live longer. We also see your tips or challenges idea that we need to having a dreams since we younger. You also give us an example where you live now in Bali. You have it's one of your dream to retiree, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You also emphasizing on investing wisely. This is what
Yes.
actually me personally also have some difficulties regarding to the investing wisely. What is the meaning of wisely actually? And the
Okay.
last one is trusting God, mashallah. This is one of the idea that we usually or more time we also forget about the idea. If we plan something, it will do accordingly. But we see at the end of the day, sometimes it's not just as we plan. Okay. Before we entering the question and answers, we would like to check first, Dr. Sadali, are you already in a Zoom meeting? Hopefully you already joining us. All right. Okay. Please wait. We will have Ibu Tessy to answering some question from the participant. If anyone have a question, please open your mic or mentioning chat in a please do. Who is that? We Osho Mahmud, you open your mic, please.
Yes,
If you
yes.
yeah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning. I'm calling from Nigeria. I'm Osho Mahmoud. I want to ask.
I mean now, my computer is now okay. Can you try?
Can you hear me?
Just now, are you alright?
Please continue.
Yes, I'm with you. Yes, I want to ask the Waqf program. How is it possible to be able to sustain it if you want to utilize it for a school system? I think you understand. Like
Yeah.
possibly an Islamic school, like a nursery and primary school, where they take Islamic education, Quran, they teach Quran, and so how is it possible for one to be able to sustain it and let it function even while you are not there again? What are those mechanisms that can be put in place to be able to sustain a Waqf system? Because I run a school here in Nigeria, and I'm planning possibly to put it under Waqf, and I'm been looking for ways by which we'll be able to implement it and let it work so that it will continue to function. So I want you to please elaborate more on this.
You mean on the Waqf?
Yes.
Okay, that's Dr. Sadali. Dr.
Oh,
Sadali, here we go. Dr. Sadali will be
okay.
happy to answer that question.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So now can I go to my slide, share my slide? Am I
Yes.
in now? Can I speak?
Yes. Okay. Since any other question for Ibu Tesi, or if you still our agenda quite tight, you can hold your question at the end after Dr. Sadali presentation. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Please take your time, Dr. Sadali. Thank you so much
I'm
for Ibu
in.
Tesi Setiabudi.
Send my slide. You get it?
We're still
Where's my
waiting
slide?
for your slide.
You got it? Where is it now? Please. Where's my slide? I'm using a new computer. Where's my slide? Camera off. Tapi the slide ni. Come. Slide mana? Where's slide? Huh? Okay. Then nak tu? Mana tu? Show thing.
Right. We can see your
Okay, can you
slide,
see it?
Dr. Sadali. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. My son is helping me. He's better than me. Okay, can you hear?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay,
We can hear
let's
you
start
as well.
my slides.
Yes.
Okay, integrating the wealth transfer mechanism upon that. This is very something I've been doing for the past 25 years. Okay? So just share with you some of the things that I want to highlight. Okay, the objective. Okay, my objective today is basically to understand. See, you must understand the state law. So we understand the state law of Singapore, and the instrument like Waqf, Hibah, and Wasiyah is, what should I say, not fully utilized to the maximum of our understanding of the Sharia law. So, and the challenges faced in Singapore in this subject. Ultimately the conclusion that we want to discuss about what can be done actually. Okay, in Singapore there are three laws here: the common law, the civil law, and the Muslim law. The common law is the one that when the court have make judgment, it become precedent. Okay, of course, the civil law is where the statute are, the codified law. And most of these civil law are, if you understand better well, most of these civil law are actually Sharia compliant. It does not comply to some of our Muslim law like Faraid law or Wasiyah law, but in principle, the intention of those laws fulfill many of our Sharia objectives. Then finally, the third one is the Muslim law. So this is very important here in Singapore. Muslim law only apply to distribution of estate upon demise. That means during your lifetime, you did not follow Muslim law. You can make a gift under civil law. Okay? But if upon demise, upon death, then the Muslim law applies. And Muslim law in Singapore is very, very, very wide, very broad. Okay? But unfortunately, many of the Muslims have misunderstood. The Muslim law, they only define to the Wasiyah or the Faraid law, which is very, very limited and constrained. Okay, so these are some of the common law cases in Singapore, which override even Muslim law. In fact, one of the cases is the joint tenancy case. It's very interesting case in Singapore. In fact, I'm also trying to promote the joint tenancy concept to the Muslim world in this region as well, because joint tenancy concept of, it's a civil law which established, I think, sometime 300 years ago when the British or the American were more civilized. But this law, the principle is similar to our concept of Hibah al-Rukbah, conditional Hibah. Whoever survives in the contract will have that asset. Okay, so the next case is on the case of Nuzria, a special gift that is a fatwa was issued, but it was rejected by the civil law because that instrument don't seems to comply with the state law, one, and also to comply with the Sharia to some extent. Okay, and the next one that we can quote is here, nomination concept is very useful in takaful industry. In fact, nomination in the past is not accepted. Okay, it is considered to be, the nominee is just an administrator. He or she has to dispose again based on Faraid law. But today it has changed. Okay, this is where the state law, the civil law, overrule many Muslim law. But when they overrule doesn't mean, it does not mean that law is not Sharia compliant. Many civil law in Singapore, when it comes to estate matter, are Sharia compliant. It's just that it does not comply to the Faraid law. We have to differentiate between Faraid law and Sharia compliant. This is very important because the Faraid law is just one of the many laws that Allah has given us. I will show you some of the laws that can be found in the Muslim books. Okay, and then some of the civil law, like nomination. CPF money is the worker provident fund. Insurance policy like takaful, right? In the past, when you nominate, you are only the administrator. But today, when you nominate to anybody, it becomes a gift contract that the nominee have the right to the claim as a gift. And alhamdulillah, in Malaysia also, the SAC, the Sharia Advisory Council of Malaysia, that deal with takaful industry, have also recognized that the nomination in takaful product can be conditional hibah, which is hibah rukbah. That means you need not comply to Faraid law, but we comply to the hibah law, so, the conditional hibah law. These are two different things that we seem not to be very well informed. Everything we look at Faraid law, which is very harmful to the Sharia aspect. And of course, concept of joint tenancy, ownership of a joint account. Okay, in Singapore, when you have a house with the wife, you bought a house on the joint tenancy, husband and wife. Upon the demise of the husband, the wife will have the house without going through any other probate process. This ownership, the wife inherit, should I say, not inherit, because the concept of joint tenancy is both parties own the house on equal basis. So one pass away, his interest disappears. It goes to the surviving the joint tenant. Okay, this concept is also been used in the joint account in Malaysia. I think Malaysia is bond, sukuk bond. They recognize the joint account holder. If one party passes away, it goes to the other party. And this concept is similar to the concept of hibah rukbah, which I will touch a bit more later on this subject. Okay, so this is very important. These are civil law that are not Faraid compliant, but Sharia compliant. That means it complies to other form of Muslim law, which we must open our mind to that. Okay, I have discussed to you about the joint tenancy. Remember, this concept in Singapore saved a lot of widow from losing a shelter. You imagine if the man die in Singapore, the husband die, the wife have to sell the house to follow Faraid law. Where would you stay? Where will the children stay? This concept protect the family structure. So this concept is in line with the Sharia. Don't the husband need to leave the house for the wife when she passed away? Okay. And this concept, alhamdulillah, it took me 3 books. 3 books to push for changes in the Singapore concept. The past fatwa does not accept joint tenancy. The latest fatwa in 2019, they recognize the usefulness of joint tenancy in Sharia, where it protects family structure. This is important. The objective of Sharia must be met. We are not just complying to a certain law. We must make sure that Muslim law must carry benefit. It helps the family structure. It enhances the Muslim family, not to break down the structure of family structure. And then the concept of nomination, which is very important in Singapore. The insurance policy can be nominated as Hibah. Okay. The CPF money, the provident fund for the workers, they keep. Once they make nomination, it becomes a gift. There's no faraid required. And of course, the other one is the cooperative society. When you join a cooperative society, when you make nomination, you comply to civil law, but Sharia compliant. All these nominations are very similar to the Hibah al-Rukbah concept, the constitutional Hibah, which I know there are different views in the Islamic context. There are 3 views, in fact. But which one do we take that will benefit the Muslim at this point of time? Okay. And of course, the other one is assignment. Assignment of insurance policy is another instrument of Hibah mutlak. You assign a policy to somebody, like making a gift to that person. But instead of calling it Hibah, they call it assignment. But the principle of assignment or nomination are similar to some of the Muslim laws. Okay. And all these nomination, actually, it can transfer the asset to the family, to the nominee, with 0 cost. There's no requirement to go to the court to get a court order at all. So this is what we want. The Sharia, the system of wealth transfer or estate planning must also look into factor of how easy can the transfer be done? What are the costs involved? Can it be the minimum? And of course, you would like to have minimum cost. Muslim lawyer is defined. Okay, we have this AMLA. In AMLA, it defined, there's one section 114 that define Muslim law. Never in any of the AMLA mention Wasiyah or faraid. They just mention Muslim law. Every time dispose the asset when you make a will based on Muslim law, when you have no will based on Muslim law. They never said faraid. So this Muslim law, you has to be defined to a section called 114. Okay, section 114 that tell you what Muslim law is. Okay, these are some of the provision about Muslim estate matter. This is just to show you some of it. Muslim dying without a will, go by Muslim law, as modified by a Malay custom. Of course, when you have no will, you follow Muslim law and Malay custom. It doesn't set faraid law. It doesn't set faraid law. So why are we sticking ourselves to faraid law at all time? And faraid law is the only law. And when faraid law is not the only law. And then this is what Muslim law is all about. To prove it's a Muslim law, we have to refer to all these 6 books. These are all in English. The court read these 6 books. Okay, if you can show that those books contain element, this book contains certain instruments like Hibah Rukbah mentioned in Nawawi, Talibin, then that Hibah Rukbah is a valid tool. It is one of the acceptable tools. Okay? Of course, this book also mentioned about faraid law. They also talk about amanah. Somebody was talking about amanah, the trust, and the Waqf concept. All these things are Muslim law. Okay, this is another part of it. Okay, even the inheritance certificate in Singapore, when somebody passes away, you must get the inheritance certificate from Sharia court. And this even mentioned Muslim law. It doesn't say that you must follow faraid. That means if somebody make a hibah, technically the inheritance certificate must follow the hibah formula. But unfortunately, in the practice in Singapore, they still use a faraid law. And the faraid law, in today's context, they are classical and they are also contemporary law. So we have to understand that what Muslim law means actually. I forget the video. Sorry. Where am I? Okay, this is the inheritance law. And one something that very interesting here is that the Sharia court issued the inheritance certificate, but that certificate is not an ultimatum. It is merely an opinion. The same thing like MUIS when they issue fatwa in Singapore context, they are not mandated. They are not mandated to be complied with. They are just an opinion, which means you can accept, you can reject the opinion. It is not the law. Yeah? Okay, the beauty part about the Amla also mentioned about if there is, let's say, a Shafi'i school of thought that cause harm to the Muslim community, then the duty of MUIS or the Fatwa committee to look into another views, another madhab school of thought that are more beneficial to the community. Even though the default formula is Shafi'i, you need not always use Shafi'i school of thought. If it is cause harm to the community, then it's the duty of the Muslim authority to actually find other school of thought. And this is interesting. Many of today fatwa in Singapore has looked into this area. They don't comply to only one school of thought. They look at other school of thought. Hanafi, example, if you look at Shafi'i school of thought, when I have a mother alone, when I die, she only get 1/3. No other worries. They two go to MUIS by Tumal. But if I adopt the Hanafi school of thought, my mother will get 100% of it. 1/3 plus the extra 2/3, the rod, they call it the residue of the estate will go back to her instead of going to the Baitul Mal. That's Hanafi school of thought. So in Singapore context, we can switch that. In fact, the current practice by many Muslims, even when they go to Hajj, we are Shafi'i. When they go to Hajj, when they do their rituals for the tawaf, they will taklid to the school of thought. So if you accidentally come into contact with another gender, which is not your muhrim, then your wudu is still okay. Continue with your tawaf. This practice is not ancient to us, that we can switch to other school of thought as long as that school of thought benefited us. The same thing as zakat fitrah. You take a zakat fitrah based Shafi'i school of thought, you have to give rice. So if we practice that kind of school of thought, then our Muslim center will be a Muslim body will be a warehouse for rice. But they convert into cash. That means instead of giving rice, you give cash for our zakat fitrah. So there is other school of thought. That's not Shafi'i school of thought. There's I think Maliki or Hanafi school of thought. So this is something that we have to recognize that in Muslim law, there are bound to be different views. Okay? In my latest book on faraid, I show that even the faraid law itself, many of it are the ruling come from opinion of Sahabat. And this opinion, not only one Sahabat, only one opinion, there are so many opinions from other Sahabat, which are as strong as the opinion we are practicing now. So we can take other opinion that benefit the community in today's context. We need not stick to the old opinion that we have been taking on. Just like the right issue in our context now, by Tuma taking money inheritance, if I were to take Hanafi school of thought, and then I can protect the family. But if I choose to keep on using Shafi'i, then my waris, my wife, my daughter will not be protected. How do you protect them? Because they have to be protected. It's my duty. The question is, can Baitulmal protect my wife, my daughter when I'm not around? After taking the share of the inheritance, do they do that? I do not know. Yeah, but you guys will know that it's not possible for them to look after our parent. Okay, these are the changes that's allowed. Okay, so Muslim law cover this instrument. There are many of them. In those books, you can see Atas Pancarian, the Wasiyah. Yes, we have Faraid, we have Hibah Rukbah, Hibah Al-Umrah, the gift concept, the Waqf endowment, the trust concept. This one we have done injustice to our Sharia because I have not seen any Muslim work on Islamic trust. The trust that we have now in the market are civil trust. So in my practice, sometimes I have to use a civil trust to get the job done, but I have to tweak the civil trust to make it Sharia compliant. And this civil trust can be Sharia compliant if we do some extra effort to do research and study about Islamic trust, and we can create proper Islamic trust better than the civil trust. Okay, but unfortunately, I don't see much research work being done on this area of Islamic trust, other than the unit trust that you see. Yeah, of course, the ICRA. So there are many instruments here. Why are we sticking to one instrument all the time? Why always Faraid? Is this the source of the law? No, it is just one of the many laws. And we cannot use this Faraid as a source. When somebody do Hibah, it give equal share to the son and daughter, people question, why not 2-to-1? Faraid is 2-to-1. Of course, we cannot give that 2-to-1 formula because it is not a Faraid formula, it's a Hibah formula. The Hibah formula, the Sunnah is equal share, not 2-to-1. But Faraid, yes, 2-to-1. Right? So this is what I see. And this, as mentioned, there are all instruments that can be used in some. This is not limited, please. We need to expand more because financial structure, financial system has changed, and it's changed very fast in today's context. So we have to actually keep on improving our Sharia concept of wealth transfer. The Hibah itself, Hibah Mutlak, Hibah Rubah, Hibah Umrah, Hibah Bisharati Iwad, which some of them have been used by Islamic financial system. So we cannot look at this at all time. Okay, this is just one of the tools, and this is the last tool to be used. Remember, when you don't plan. Anisa verse 33 mentioned that. Okay? If you don't plan, Faraid take its course. But if you have made a contract, a pledge, whatever, then that contract has to be honored. So that contract is not Faraid system. It's another form of wealth transfer. Okay, Hibah Mutlak, like mentioned, can give on the spot. Okay, like in today's context, when somebody passed away in Singapore, especially I think Malaysia, so they have, Indonesia, I'm not sure. So when somebody passed away, he's an employee. The employer give a check of 300,000 to the widow. The employer get the money from insurance claim upon demise of his staff, that the insurer pay the employer 300,000. That money belongs to the employer because the employer finance the insurance system and scheme, finance it, but covered the workers. So when the insurer, when the employer give that 300,000 to the widow, that is the Hibah asset. It cannot be Faraided. And yet I see some of them Faraid that Hibah asset. You only Faraid Tarika asset that is left behind and unplanned for the transfer. And this gift from the company is not a tarika because it is not an asset of the deceased. It is a company asset. So when the company give that to the wife, the widow, it's Hibah Mutlak under concept sedekah. Okay? So there are many assets created upon demise. Not all these assets are to be faraided. Atas pencerahan is another one. Cannot be faraided. It belongs to the wife. Or in Indonesia, they call it harta gono gini, right? Something like that. Okay. Same as other part of in Philippines. So these are things that we can see that faraid is not the law. It is just one of the law. Okay. This is for Hibah Rukbah. I know there are several schools in different opinion of Hibah Rukbah. Some said it's valid. Some said the Hibah is valid. Condition to return back is not valid. And Shafi'i said both condition and hibah is valid. Shafi'i has two views on this. The first view in Baghdad, he said is valid. When he go to Egypt, second view, he said not valid. The hibah is valid, condition to return back is not valid. So what happened here is that we have to accept the fact that when it comes to ruling in financial matter, fiqh muamalat, they're bound to be different views by different sahabat. The challenge we have today is, can we adopt the view that is more realistic, more practical, more beneficial to us? We're not saying that the other view is no good. It's just that it's not advisable. It's not beneficial at this point of time. And I know the Sharia that it changed from time to time and where you are. What we cannot change is the fiqh ibadah, fiqh muamalat, man-to-man transaction. Yes, there are rooms for innovation. And in fact, they're assisting the president of today financial Islamic banking. It came from that principle, the doctrine of, hey, find the one that's the best for the community at this point of time. You don't stick to the old ways of doing things, because we cannot succeed if by sticking to the old school of thought. Okay, another evidence, this is a very good example that the contingency hibah, like hibah rumah, can be accepted. The Prophet said that this is very good fatwa, hadith, okay, that he wants to give to somebody an asset, okay, on condition the asset came from Bahrain, then he will give it. But it never come until his death. Upon his death, the asset came over, and this way Abu Bakr asked, who was the person that the Prophet want to give, on condition that the asset come from Bahrain. And the man came forward and he was given that asset. So this is conditional hibah, okay, which can be accepted in today's context. Okay, wasiyah, I think all of us are clear about wasiyah. Most of them know there's 1/3 constraint for non-legalized. So you see, the wasiyah has very limited use in today's context. Most people I experience, I see that they want to make a gift, whatever, estate planning, they want to give to their daughters only. They only have daughters, they want to give their daughters. Okay? But they cannot make will to the daughters because the daughter is ahli waris. That's legal heir. Well, will is only for non-legal heir. So how do we do that? Okay? So this is where the hibah comes into the picture. The hibah has no limit. It can give to waris and non-waris. So something that we can consider, which I've been using in Singapore on many occasions, a hibah arubah concept, and we have no test case yet that the hibah is not valid. The hibah arubah. What we have that most of our hibah went through as planned. Adopted child get 100%. The daughters get everything. Uncle did not get anything. Okay? So all these are possible. Of course, in Singapore, we do not have the wasiyah wajibah, like Indonesia and Malaysia, they have that. I think all of you know about wasiyah wajibah. When somebody, this is where you see, the faraid law, if I have 3 sons, and my first son have a children, and he passed away before me, I left with 2 sons. And if I pass away, based on faraid law, my 2 other sons will get the share. My grandchildren from my first son get nothing, isn't it? So what happened in Malaysia? They create this concept of wasiyah wajibah, where my grandchildren from my son who demised before me is able to inherit up to 1/3, or the share of the father who passed away. Why? Because they see the faraid law has some limitation. So we have to create something new, innovate something to do justice. You see the point that I'm trying to show you, that the faraid law has been modified on and off. They don't change the faraid law, but the application of these laws has been modified to what should I say, to ensure that the Sharia, the market share of Sharia is objective. They did not strictly follow the faraid law, but they add something new to make it better. So this is what innovation is all about. This is where all of us have to play a role in trying to improve the system. We're not saying faraid is no good. It's one of the law. That's all. Okay? It has its limitation. We have to accept that. And we have to accept that many of the faraid laws does not come from the Quran, but came from ijtihad of scholars or sahabat. When Isha is concerned, there are bound to be other ijtihad of different views, different opinions, which are from good sahabat or the same par with other sahabat as well. Okay, this is what Faraid is all about. And the sad thing about Faraid law, we see in today's context, we do not enforce the Sharia on Faraid law. What we do, we just enforce the distribution of shares. But we never talk about responsibility by the male towards the female. We never talk about giving those who do not get the love and care, a small share of it. Right? We do not talk about adopted child, I should give them something. But what we do when we have the situation where the adopted child, they have biological children, when there's a meeting on the estate of the father or the mother, the adopted child is put aside. The discussion is only among the biological children. This is what we can see. So the far right law in today's context, I can see very clear. There's a lot of abuse. The application is not based on the Quranic text in totality. They only based on certain Quranic verses that talk about the shares of each party, but not about the love, care, and responsibility of that party towards other legal heir. Okay, so I see. And the objective of Sharia estate planning is very clear, of course, to create enough fund. Okay? This is where the wonderful thing about takaful industry is that it is a system that creates immediate fund for us to protect our family and even protect ourselves. Make sure that we have settled our liabilities. Okay? Make sure that our children have enough educational fund. And we have the takaful so good, well planned, but our child is an adopted child. How do you protect the child then? Can you rely on Farai system? No. This is where the nomination comes in. You nominate the thing to the child, you get it. Okay? And even the takaful product can be something we're talking about Waqf. Create a Waqf. This policy XYZ is only for Waqf. Do not inherit. I nominate this or I sign this policy to a Muslim body that can do something with the money. Institution, a school, Islamic school. And this is what I call in my term, Waqf berjamaah. You can be contributing only $100,000, but the benefit upon the death goes to the charity can be 10 times or 100 times more. Because the contribution from other members create that Waqf for you. Waqf berjamaah, something that we can think of, and I know it is possible. I've done it in Singapore. When the client passed away, big amount of money goes to a charitable body. It doesn't go to the family because family have enough. He has created for the family already. So this is what Waqf berjamaah is all about. So Waqf can be done by every working class people. You need not be a millionaire to do that. By coming together, berjamaah in economics, berjamaah in helping each other, we can do wonders. So takaful is something that we really got to look very seriously how to enhance their product for the benefit of humanity, not only the family, for others. And of course, the transfer of work must be Sharia compliant. And this important is that whatever we do in estate planning, we must harmonize the state law where your country are. So I have seen in Singapore where sometimes the people who do the will or whatever, no, does not harmonize with the state law. So that will or cannot be enforced at all. So when you plan something, make sure that the three laws are in Singapore context, the three laws, the civil law, the common law, and the Muslim law can be harmonized. I can tell you it can be harmonized. A good example is that all the nomination in Singapore has been harmonized by fatwa issued by the authority that those are Hibah. Nomination is now equivalent to our Hibah concept. So are we completing? No. Yeah. So this is something that we got to understand. We must integrate the current civil system or a non-Muslim system. There must be something that we can see in their principle of operation. They're in harmony or should I say, similar to some of our Sharia principle in wealth transfer. It is possible. We just have to go deeper, do more research on the Islamic system and their system. In the past, it don't happen. Anything non-Arabic only, oh, haram, cannot. It's Western world. They want Arabic term to be in the system. You don't have to do that. What we want is the principle of the operation is Sharia compliant. That's all. That means it follows some Sharia principle. And we don't expect the civil law to be 100% similar to our Muslim law of Hibah example, you know. Joint tenancy is like in Hibah, but cannot be 100% similar because they came from different or should I say different source of laws, but the principle, there are some similarity. Look at that. Can we harmonize these two? Then it become a law that is acceptable by both sides, the civil and the Sharia. And of course, ultimately, when you do estate planning, you have to do justice and fairness. Okay, not equality. There's a big difference between equality and equality. Because if you have a handicapped child, don't tell me you got this child will get the same equal share as the one who's already well off with big cars and house. You may have to consider giving more to the special child need, a special need child, you know, those who are special child. And of course, the other thing is that whatever we plan, it has to be easy to enforce, less cost involved. And ultimately, it achieves the maqasid of Sharia. The objective of Sharia is to protect the family, the wealth, okay, the religion, and the other two other elements. Okay, the challenge we have in the context is that we always look at Farid as the law. There's something that we got to open our mind. We cannot take Farid as a source of the law. Farid is just one of the law. The source of the law is the Quran and Hadith. When Hibah is concerned, look at Hibah law. Don't look at Farid law. We cannot look at Farid law when you talk about Hibah, right? So this is something that we have to adjust because many of us, I was one of them many years ago, that we look at Farid law as the law, everything from the Quran. But after we do study more research, we realize, hey, not all the ruling in the Farid law are from the Quran. There are many rulings from Sahabat, and this ruling itself also have other views by other Sahabat, which can be accepted. But we don't seem to be looking at those views. We stick to the old views, saying that this is the way. And the worst thing that when we say this is from the Quran, from the Hadith, and something it's not, it's just an opinion. Okay? Example, the issue of Iraq, I've mentioned to you, by Baitul Mal taking money inheritance, which I never subscribe to the formula, because Baitul Mal is a public entity. Okay? The inheritance is a private area, private wealth owned by somebody. Because the Quran said, whatever you leave behind, the tariqah, then you farid. Whatever he leave behind. What is he behind me? What he own? That is a private asset. How can the private asset go to a public beneficiary? It cannot. It must go back to the family unless there is no family. Yes, we have no question about that because a lot of scholars agree with that. But when there is a mother, there is a daughter, there is Zawil Arham, hey, we got to consider they should be the one. Alhamdulillah, Indonesian have done that, move forward with that. Baitul Mal on the run is being utilized fully, but in our country, we are still fighting against this. Okay, of course, the challenge is as mentioned, how do you integrate the civil law and Muslim law together? I believe we have enough scholars in this context, a lot of educated people who can actually study both laws and marry them together. They're bound to be something that we can achieve. So once we achieve that, then it's our duty to promote that, not only to the Muslim, even non-Muslim. We can do that. Don't call it a Muslim law, call it something that the non-Muslim can accept, but the principle of that operation is from Allah, Sharia. So this is what I see that even in Takaful, I notice that many of the time we talk about Takaful product, it's a very wonderful product, but we tend to promote to Muslim only. How many Muslim advisors are reaching out to non-Muslim to promote Takaful? Show the beauty of Takaful. The market is so big out there, but we are not maybe this group IFPA could consider trying to do some retraining on this takaful advisor to promote the non-Muslim. It is possible. Sorry, okay, this is what I can. My conclusion is that when we talk about Sharia, we talk about Muslim law, please cover the whole thing. Not only one part of the Faraid law, one part of the Quran, one verse, two verse, and then we stick to it. We got to take in totality the whole teaching that Allah has given us. It's not just the distribution. Okay, this is what I have to say. And okay. I hope I have covered some area that are useful. So where do I go from here? Question and answer.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Sadali, for delivering your presentation. We will have now the question and answer session for both for everyone who have a question for Ibu Tesi or Dr. Sadali. Please raise your hand and open your mic, or if you want to raise a question in a chat, we will deliver it too. Maybe before we enter, we have the previous question, Pak, from Oshoma, Doctor, from Oshoma Mahmud. Do you still want to hear the answer, or you have after hearing the presentation from Dr. Sadali, do you have new perspective, Mr. Oshoma Mahmud? I think okay. He's still not opening his mic. Maybe I will repeat his question again. He asked about the Waqf program, how the Waqf program would be sustained if we enter the retirement period. That's the question from Osho Mahfud regarding to the Waqf program. So that I think Dr. Sadli would like to answer that question.
Okay. Of course, the Waqf program is a very big project actually. Okay, in Singapore, we have the AMLA that cover all the rules in Waqf, what to be done. Example, whoever the mutawali is, they must have make a report of account every year to the authority, Muslim, to MUIS. MUIS more or less in control of the situation now. So all mutawali must submit their report as required by the law. Basically, just any banking system. Okay, so you need a very, very solid system to do that. So it has to get involved with the authority, government, and Muslim bodies. Then I think those laws can be established because we just have to follow laws established in Malaysia, even Singapore. Take them as something you can actually transform to your country. It can be done, I know. But what the challenge here to me is that how can every Muslim do a wakaf? How can the Muslim wakaf $100? Everybody dies, right? When they die, it's not $100 goes to the wakaf center. It's $100,000. Wakaf berjamaah, something that we got to look at. This is why I mentioned takaful is very important industry. We really got to go beyond just protecting our retirement, creating retirement fund, educational fund. We should create a community fund. The challenge here is how can we convince those people to do to contribute to get involved in such a plan, a policy that is not for my family, but for the community. So if every Muslim can do that, I believe we will not have financial issue in the Muslim community. But it take a real challenge. Because I do have some clients, we promote wakaf through insurance. And they buy the idea. And the other thing is that we also should consider the takaful industry, how can they protect their zakat? Now he's healthy, he earn a lot of money, every year he give a zakat, assuming every year his zakat is about $10,000. Make it easy. Okay, he's able to zakat because he's able to work, right? He's able to earn an income. But what happened if one day he paralyzed? He can't work anymore. Will he get the income as what he used to get? No. So can he continue his zakat? Obviously, he can't. Have we ever thought of creating a policy that can protect zakat contribution? That means upon his disability, there is a claim of X dollars that can still fund his zakat for the next 10 years, example. Even though you may not be working, because the claim is so huge that you have enough to zakat every year the same amount of money. You get it? But all these are concept of berjamaah in economics. When you pray alone, you get 1 pahala. You pray in the mosque, you get how many? 27 pahala. So this is what takaful is all about. We have not promoted our berjamaah in economics to the community. We should move to that direction. We can do wonders. Of course, you know, the Waqf is concerned, the money is perpetual. The money must be kept properly. This is where, through proper regulation, the one who collect the zakat fund must be accountable. They must also manage the money, not just to keep in the bank. Make sure the money is safe, it grows, but the risk is very low, right? So the perpetuality of that fund will continue to become bigger and bigger. We only use the return from that fund. But consider that the promoting of zakat or waqf to the community. But in terms of regulation, I think there's a lot of countries like that we can actually adopt and then move on from there. But my take is that how do we promote everyone to do waqf?
Okay.
It's possible. Of course, zakat as well.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much for the answer. So we have 3 main point delivering by Dr. Sadali regarding to the how to maintain the Waqf program. There are 3 keywords. We have to encourage the community to promote the Waqf. The second one, we have to encourage community to emphasizing the concept of Waqf. And the third one, we have to creating policy regarding to the Waqf and Zakat. Okay, thank you so much for
Yeah,
Dr. Sadali.
good.
We continue to the
Yeah.
second question delivered by Nur Jamil from Ecopin University. I think this question suitable for both for Dr. Tesi, for Ibu Tesi and Dr. Sadali. I would like to ask about the best decision for spending my wealth so that I can still have proposition for the hereafter with the best deeds through wakaf, but also leave beneficial assets for my children. We would like to hear the answer from Ibu Tesi first, then continue to Dr. Sadali. Please.
Hello, hi. It's all about proportion. Yeah. Of course, we have to have our proportion for ourselves. I mean, it is our wealth, so we must enjoy it also, right? Secondly, we must think of what we left behind for our family as well as for our community. So it's all about proportion. What is the proportion like? Well, it's only you who can decide which is the proportion, but please think about a proportion also for your part. Yeah, don't forget to enjoy life as well, right, Dr. Sadali? Yeah, sometimes we think of our family so much that we forgot about us, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we work hard, so we must enjoy for ourselves as well. Yeah, so it's all about balancing the proportion. It's not about giving too much to our children that we forgot about us. Yeah. Okay,
thank you
please,
so much.
Dr. Sadali.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
For the Sakitek, it's the personal proportion as well the proportion for our family. It's the key take for the question from Bapak Nur
Okay,
Jamil.
let
Continue
me share
to
with you.
Dr. Sadali, please.
Okay, this is something very should I say, very radical. Okay, we always plan. Okay, the well is amanah. The well is amanah. You got to make full use of the well. Okay, that's for sure. But if you look at the concept of zakat, okay, every time I have zakat, I have to give away to. I have enough wealth, I will put away 2.5%. Okay, so if only we can go further, we practice zakat planning, not retirement planning. Every year we plan to give, this year my zakat, let's say 10,000. Next year, I want to zakat 20,000. The year after, 30,000. So what does that mean? To be able to zakat 10,000, you must have enough money, right? How much would that be? $10,000 zakat. Let's see, 10,000 divided by, let me see, 10,000. Oh, you must have 400,000 in your bank. Correct? 10,000, you must have 400,000 in the bank. So when you drive yourself, you work so hard to zakat of that $10,000, you have 400,000. And you know the money that you get are clean money. This is very important. Clean money, honest income. So you have a goal of zakat, you have that 4,000 in your bank this year. So next year you want to zakat 10,000, you must double the amount. So you will invest the money. You invest the money not because you want to have more money, because you want to have more zakat to be given away. So understanding this concept, okay, what we are creating in the community, a very productive Muslim workers or professional who work for Allah. So then with that 400,000, of course, right? Madam Tessie said, Tessie, he can enjoy himself, correct? But he enjoyed, and yet he's able to fulfill his obligation as a Muslim on zakat. So zakat planning is missing actually in our community. So the more you zakat, the more you have, isn't it? And more time to spend. Okay, so something that we should also look into the area about zakat planning. Don't worry about retirement planning, because if you can zakat your money well, you have enough to retire. And if you have the ability to protect your zakat 10,000 every year, you must make sure that if you're not around, you may have to have 4 million. Upon demise, upon your disability, 4 million is given to you, enough for you to zakat for 10 years. You see here? So what I'm trying to say is that when you do something for the cause of Allah, zakat or waqf, put a goal to that direction, the money will come. Because your effort that you put on will also be very productive. You don't scam people, you don't cheat people. You work with all honesty, because you know that you want to zakat, you have to give clean money back to Allah. So I think the proportion part of it is important, but the mission that we want, we don't earn more money because we want to keep for ourselves, and then we have extra we give. No, we earn because we want to give more.
Yes.
And I know a lot of rich people in the Western world are doing that. They're giving more and they get more. The more they give, the more they get. Never stop. Warren Buffett, one of them, right? So this is why I see that this is why the role of the advisors are very important. IFPA have a very, very big job to do actually. Can they mold? Can they transform the Muslim financial professional to promote such thing? And I seen many. I was in insurance for the past 25 years or 30 years. I can't remember. Most of the training conducted in the insurance industry are nothing more than just how to promote more sales. But I think we have come to the stage, how do we promote more zakat? I think that will make a lot of impact to everyone. Even the client themselves who are in the system will be benefiting from that. Not from monetary return, but from the life, the way of life.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Sadali. So the key take for the question, it's the zakat, it involving the zakat planning, and also the concept of earning more to get more. That's the two
To
key
give
take
more.
from, earn
Give
more to
more,
get
get more.
give more. Okay. Okay. Continuing to the question from Usmanu dan Fodio University, Sokoto, Nigeria. The question from Abdul Gonyu Abdul Rahman Hanbi. He asked about, I want to know why Faraid law is separated from the Sharia, knowing that the former is part of the latter, or it is a conceptualization issue in Singapore. Shukran. I think it's a Dr. Sadali question.
Can you repeat the question? How?
Why Faraid law is separated from the Sharia?
What Faraid law is?
Faraid law is separated from the Sharia law,
Different.
knowing, yeah, why
Okay.
it is different.
This is where I think the Muslim law or the Sharia law, okay, encompass laws pertaining to an activity. The Muslim law of divorce, Muslim law of marriage, Muslim law of takaful, insurance, Muslim law of estate distribution, Muslim law of Hibah. Okay? The Sharia is a bigger part of our life. It is a way of life. It covers, it encompasses the Tawhid, the Aqidah, the Muslim law itself, okay, and the Ihsan. Okay, so this is where, example, when somebody borrow money from us, okay, we know the guy need help, so we lend him the money. Under the Muslim law, he has to pay us back. Correct? We have the right to ask him to pay us back. But under akhlaq, the ihsan part of it, and we know he don't have that money at this point of time. What the Quran said, give him more time. Under the law, you can enforce him, can make him bankrupt to get the money out. But under the Sharia, you understand the Sharia, you will not do that. You give him more time. So the same thing as Faraid law. Faraid law talk about distribution. The man get 2 portions, and then the daughter get 1 portion. But you have this adopted child who have been serving the parent for many years, helping the foster parent, okay, even sometimes pay the medical bill. Okay, but she got nothing from Faraid law. But under Sharia, the waris has the obligation to give him something. An-Nisa verse 8, those who do not get from the distribution can be given something and say nice thing to them. But the practice that we have seen sometimes, oh, you just adopt a child, one corner, you are not in the system, you get nothing. And very rare we give them something. So because of that, sometimes you see the divination laws have changed. They even cater for the adopted child. 1/3 of it under the compulsory from Islam. So this is what the Sharia is, a way of life. We enforce the law with love and care and responsibilities. We don't just apply the law on the share, take the money and disappear. And this is where I can see that sometimes the Faraid law has been abused, exploited by the Muslims. Take their share. They demand their right to 2:1 ratio. But nobody enforced the responsibility on them. Look after the needy child, a needy sister, example, or handicapped sisters. This is what I see the difference in that. So I always encourage that my work I'm promoting is the Sharia estate planning, not Muslim law estate planning. I mean, when you talk about distribution, you must also ensure that the love, care, people around you are looked at.
Okay.
So this is the bigger part of
Okay, thank you so much for Dr. Sadali. So the key take for Abdul Ghani's question is it's actually the part of the Sharia. We need both for complying many things as a Muslim. And then the continuous question is from Ibu Rida Rosida. It's actually our commented. The question is to Ms. Tessie, how to urge the importance of financial planning for their all times, especially to youngsters like Gen Z and Gen Y millennials. From how I see, the youth nowadays tend love spending a lot.
Yes.
That's the question, guys.
Very typical moms. They will always ask this question. Yes, it is hard. It is really tough. Okay, let me give you a proof. You go to the coffee shop, right? It's all youngsters. How can you buy coffee for $5? I mean, and they do it regularly on the daily basis, Yes, youngsters, they look up to role model. So we have to really role model them. Yeah. I am so impressed with Madam Ani. Madam Ani really do that as an action to their children. She does it in front of their kids, and she does that how she show them how they live correctly. And that's what we need to do. our children has to see when we invest, what kind of investment, what type of investment, about proportion of our income, how much we need to invest. They have to see it so that we become a role model. Yeah. That's number one. Number two, we can encourage them by give them reward. I think kids, no matter how old they are, they just love reward, and we reward good behavior as well as when they invest. So we show them also step by step how their investment is. We can also send them to classes of investment classes. There are so many investment classes around for youngsters. So those are the practical things we can help them to invest. They have to invest young. Investment takes time, it's not like an overnight things. I'm so confused when my client going to retire like a few months later down the road, and they said, Tess, I have this kind of money, what to invest, it's tough when we don't have that much time to invest. Investment require time. So when they invest young, and investment should be a lifestyle, invest not only for the for finances purpose, but invest also like giving zakat. It should be practiced when they were young. Yeah, and kids look at our life, so we have to be a good role model to them.
Okay. So thank you so much. The key take from Ibu Tesi for the millennials and Gen Z who spend a lot, while we have to understand that investment requires time, that we have to prepare. And we seek the role model. Who can we see as the role model for ourselves? And also encourage them to some rewards for practical thing. Okay, thank you so much. Before we continue to the other question, we will stop there first because Bapak Wijoko, you already in the room.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome Bapak Trijoko.
Thank you. Hello everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
Pak Sadali, Dr. Sadali, how are you, sir?
Salam.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Yes, please, Pak.
Yes. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Unfortunately, I just came very late due to miscommunications, and I'm somewhere in the middle of the road. I cannot get internet, but internet link. But I actually appreciate with the ideas of sharing this kind of sharing things, especially when we are talking about the financial planning security, which is something that we need to be put it at as a priority because of these today situations. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, I don't have any much things to be shared today, but what I'm going to share is actually I'm waiting forward for the next event and give me a chance to share in more details about whatever I have thinking and whatever we do in Indonesia. And I actually appreciate for friends from all over the world that come into these events, especially to my guru, Madam Ani. How are you, Madam?
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Pak Tri. Masya Allah.
Thank you. Yeah, then I see some good friends here, Dr. Sadali Rasman, which is next week on Monday. I'll be in Singapore, Pak Sadali. Hope we can meet up somewhere where we ada meeting itu at the Coffee Beans things. Yeah, so that's Madam and friends. I don't have any more to share especially in the next 5 minutes. We are going to finish this session, but let me apologize for coming too late to some situation. Give it back to the host, and very nice, glad to see you all. Thank you. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah, Pak Trijoko, thank you for your coming. And just now we have a discussion, and I think Dr. Sadali has actually highlighted the differences between Hibah, Wasiyah, Waqf, and also the Faraid. And we totally understand that they are very much relevant. And just now our brothers from Nigeria asked about the differences between the two laws and the regulation, and also how actually Indonesia has been developing into this type of Islamic financial products. This is so amazing. Like, for instance, in Islamic banking, Islamic insurance, Islamic capital market, where Waqf actually has been a part of the products, where the customers can actually choose the products that has the social value. And this is also something that we need to develop in some other countries as well. And regarding Faraid, mashallah, Dr. Sadali has been actually very generous to send books on Faraid and Hibah, Wasiyah. I hope one day Dr. Sadali also could send to our brothers in Nigeria, Dr. Sadali. Your books are very well written, mashallah, very clearly written. And we hope that many more universities and also the communities can actually get benefit from. And Ibu Tesi, Pak Trijoko, as we are aware that she is also have been very much involved in second career for the elderly. She highlighted the importance of the financial planning, not only for the productive age, as we have been actually highly promoting, but also she's very much concerned on the elderly, to make sure that their future is still dependent, in the sense that they have sufficient financial planning. And this is also relevant to the Hibah, Wasiyah, so and also the Faraid. We don't want, when it comes to the retirement age, they still have problems with their debt, their liabilities, and yet they have to prepare for their inheritance. I think all the discussions are great today, and we of course, Ratna, would like to have more session on this issue. And the Pak Tri Joko also, after coming back from Singapore, please tell us more development that you've been actually also coming from other countries. And my madam as well just come back from US and Canada, and I found the families have been actually very aware about the Islamic inheritance, and how this Islamic inheritance could be recognized under the American and Canadian law, but in a good way, how they actually can fit into. This is something that many families are not really aware. I think that's all from my madam. Thank you again, Pak Tri Joko Santoso dan Pak Dr. Sadali Rosman and Ibu Tesi Setiabudi and Sister Ratna Kamalasari, and of course the rest of the participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you.
Before we entering the closing agenda, we would like to hear the closing remarks from both Ibu Tesi Setiabudi continues to Dr. Sadali. Ibu Tesi Setiabudi, please deliver your closing remarks.
Okay. Well, friends, living the last chapter of our life requires a good preparation. It is the end of the last chapter that should be just like writing a novel. The last chapter should be the most beautiful one, right? So do whatever you can to write a beautiful last chapter in your life. Prepare well. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Prepare well for the last chapter of your life. That's the key tip from Ibu Tesi. Now, delivered by Dr. Sadari Rasman, please.
Assalamualaikum. Okay. Debt is certain, that's for sure. That's why if you understand about Sharia estate planning, you know you will die. Okay. We must make sure that we have enough fund for the family. We have enough fund for ourselves when we die. The legacy part of it.
Yes.
And we have no debt to any humankind or even to Allah. And we have given a lot to Allah, for example. So this way to estate planning, to Sharia estate planning, you can, the advisor, please take note, through Sharia estate planning, you can create more business for yourself to serve the Muslim, to enhance his wealth through investment for zakat purposes and legacy operation, to ensure that immediate estate can be created upon demise, okay, through takaful concept, as well as all the medical costs and your disability. So look at the Sharia estate planning as something that, as the approach. In my experience, when I do this approach, when I approach a client on estate planning, I'm able to get more products for the client. And not that I'm selling more, I'm happy for that, because I'm happy because I got more commission. Why? Because the client got more product that serve their needs. They're not aware of those things. You know better than them. So give them the best product that cover their estate planning, will cover everything. Retirement, education, everything will be covered well. That's so, and to do this estate planning, you must understand the laws of the countries as well. And of course, the Sharia law, and try to harmonize those things. It is possible. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. For the key take from Dr. Sadali is estate planning is the approach for Sharia balance among our recognition to Allah, our legacy, and also to ourselves. Okay, thank you so much for everyone. Before we leaving this room, please open your camera first. We would like to see your beautiful and handsome face to take a picture. Anyone in who will have the picture, who will take the picture from the committee? Please make a count. Oh, I will make a count. All right, right. We need to remove the spotlight first. Okay, we will take a picture together. We will count from, please smile and open your camera. 3, 2, 1. All right. Continues to the second group. Oh, they all close the camera. The third group as well. We need a more casual style in our picture. Now we count to 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We do apologize for any mistake that happened today, and we're also grateful for everyone who willing to join our event. Thank you so much. Khairul kalam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
See you,
you.
inshallah.
Thank you, Madam.
Thanks.
Thank you, Bu Tesi.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Bu Tesi.